Okay, I'm the Vice Chair of the Parliamentary Human Rights Group. I'll be introducing our distinguished speakers to this council. As you know, the disaster, the tragedy of 6-year-old Hazara child, Sahar Batul, is the theme of the speech. She was kidnapped. She was allegedly kidnapped by a local religious scholar, tortured, attempted to be raped, and strangled. Her body was found on a rubbish dump near her home in the city of Quetta, where she lived. And the local police told the head of the Hazara Assembly of Elders on November the 10th that 2 persons had been arrested for this atrocious offence, and he would reveal details of the investigation in a couple of days' time. But there's been no further word since then, and it appears that the media have been told not to report anything about the case, reportedly that they were warned to keep off by the authorities, and we await further details of why this clampdown on media was ordered. As you know, the Hazaras are Shia Muslims who have borne the brunt of the terrorist violence which has plagued the province for the last few years. The culprits are very seldom arrested, and in the few cases where they are, they're never convicted. The International Imam Hussein Council records the murders and massacres of Shia Muslims throughout Pakistan, and they recorded that in 2013, 675 people were killed and 1,061 injured, while in this year so far, there have been reports of 327 people killed and 944 injured. And the terrorist organisations openly boast of their responsibility for these crimes in press releases and on the internet. Their aims are similar to those of the Daesh in Syria and Iraq, to exterminate all who disagree with their extremist interpretations of Sunni Islam and their inhuman variant of Sharia law. And finally, they intend to extend their so-called caliphate over the whole world. Leaders of one terrorist organisation have specifically pledged allegiance to the Daesh, and others follow the same ideology, so far limited to home ground. At an event in Quetta on March 13, 2014, awards were presented by the head of the ASWJ, Mullah Avebury, to individuals who dedicated their lives to promoting the Shia genocide in Pakistan. The ceremony closed with Mullah Avebury declaring that the war against the enemies of Islam would continue and that more Shia would be killed. Although their main targets are Shia Muslims, the largest religious minority in Pakistan, the terrorists also murder Christians, Ahmadis and Hindus. A Christian couple were beaten to death by a mob earlier this month in Kop Radar Kishan, 40 miles southwest of Lahore. In September 2013, 81 people were killed, including children attending a Sunday school, by suicide bombers at a church in Peshawar. Last month, there was a well-known Ahmadi, Latif al-Ahbat, was murdered outside his house in Kanra, district Attock. 2 main Ahmadi mosques were attacked in Lahore, killing nearly 100 worshippers in May 2010. The US Commission on International Religious Freedom published a report in August detailing violence against religious minorities in Pakistan. They said that there was little or no effective government response, that perpetrators were not held accountable, and measures were not taken to protect the vulnerable. What has not been undertaken by the Pakistan government or any of the international authorities, such as the UN Human Rights Council, is a systematic examination of the ideology of religious extremism in Pakistan, the mechanisms and funding by which it's propagated, and its links with kindred pseudo-Islamic entities such as the Daesh, Al-Shabaab and Boko Haram. And this is a hugely important task which should be undertaken, I believe, by a panel nominated by the Secretary General of the United Nations. But now to introduce our proceedings, I'm going to ask John Denman to speak. John is the chair of the all-party group on Hazaras in Parliament, and we've held several meetings under his distinguished chairmanship, and I'm going to ask him to address you now.